Hello, welcome once again to our culinary corner. This morning I'm going to work with cauliflower. I know you're going to tell me I don't like cauliflower. It reminds me too much of my childhood, and my mother was wanting me to eat broccoli and cauliflower and spinach. Well, we can use a few tricks to make cauliflower really delicious. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use the cauliflower instead of rice to make a Chinese fried rice. Before we go to the kitchen, let me give you a few hints first. Of course, we're going to use more ingredients than we've been in the past because, quite frankly, I was getting bored of working with 2 or 3 ingredients. I know, but we have to keep it simple. So it's not that complicated, really. But let's see what we can do if you don't have some of the ingredients. Chinese cuisine has very, very important 2 ingredients. It's the sesame oil that you use to fry and soy sauce. If you don't have sesame oil, which I would understand because it's very specific, replace it by a natural oil like corn oil, avocado oil. Do not use olive oil because there's too much flavor and it's going to fight against the rest of what we're going to do. But try to use the soy sauce. And I know you must have soy sauce somewhere because everybody keeps their little bags from the Chinese takeout. But that's what we want to do. Don't compromise. Soy sauce is going to give the last flavor. But the rest is easy. Cauliflower. Okay, so I'm a bit of a purist. It's normal because it's my profession to be a chef. So I'm going to start from scratch. I have a head of cauliflower. I receive vegetable every week to my doorstep. I enjoy that very much and it saves me a trip to the store. But if you don't want to take the time to grate it and turn it into rice, you can buy it already riced at the store. The most famous is the Trader Joe's ones, but you can find it almost anywhere in the frozen section. So don't worry if you don't want to do the grating. Use the frozen one, just defrost it before you start cooking. And now I'm going to take you to the kitchen to show you my ingredients and we're going to start working. And here we are now in the kitchen. So I'm going to use these beautiful green onions, the green and the white, always. That's the head of cauliflower. I have my 3 eggs to make the scrambled eggs with a dot of butter. That's going to be together. I have garlic. I have peas and carrots. What I did, I used half of a 12-ounce frozen package and I just left them to defrost. This is my half a cup of soy sauce. You can play with the quantity because we add it at the end for the flavor. And this is what's left of my sesame oil, just enough to start working. Again, if you don't have sesame oil, don't worry. Use your corn oil, your peanut oil, your avocado oil, anything which doesn't have a strong flavor, because what you want to do, you're going to want to find the flavor of the soy sauce, the garlic, and the chives or the Spanish onions, the green onions. All right, so off we go. Okay, so first I'm going to work with my cauliflower. Nice little cauliflower. I'm going to separate the florets. I don't want to use the heart. The heart is too hard for what we're doing today. But don't throw it away. You can keep it in a little bag in your fridge and add it to a soup whenever you decide to make a vegetable soup. It freezes pretty well. And as I do that, I can tell you that you can use almost everything. The leaves of carrots, the trunks of the broccoli, the heart of the cauliflower, all these parts which are very tasty but too hard to use in a regular dish, you can actually add them to make a broth, to make a stock, or just a vegetable soup. So now we have the floret. I'm just going to show you a little bit because, as I said, this is not the most important thing because you can actually buy it frozen. So if you don't have a machine, I would say use the grate box. Just the cheese grate box. This one is an IKEA one I have when we go camping. Use the biggest holes and just take your floret and mind your fingers and grate. Look, this is cauliflower rice. But if you're lucky like me and you have more equipment, you can use your food processor. Here is my beautiful machine. That is a wonderful gift from my friend Nadia when she left to go back to France. And every day I thank her because I use it all the time. The trick if you're using a food processor is not to put too much at a time because you don't want your cauliflower to turn mushy. So I'm just going to show you one turn because it's noisy. And we'll come back when it's all done. That's about the quantity I'm making at a time. Let's make sure we find the right spot to close it. Yeah. Power and crush. You see how fast it goes? And now I have my cauliflower. So I'm going to repeat the process until all my cauliflower is done. Voila, we're ready to go. So before anything else, I'm going to start working with my eggs. And it's quite simple. We're going to just make scrambled eggs. The only thing, don't overcook them, keep them a little soft because we're going to add them at the end. And if they're already too cooked to start with, they're going to come dry. And we're back. Now that the rice is ready, I cleaned up 4 of the scallions and I'm going to separate the white and the green. The white I'm going to cut. It's going to go in the dish itself. The green I'm going to keep for decoration. You can see my knife is not too sharp. I should work on that. It's right there. And I also cleaned up and peeled the garlic. And I decided to go with 4 cloves. It's really up to you what you like, how garlicky you want your dish. But for my 1 head of cauliflower, 4 cloves would be just perfect. So I'm going to cut them roughly. Remember that the smallest the pieces, the more fragrant and pungent the garlic taste is going to show in your dish. So I'd rather have it small and flavorful. So this is ready, waiting for me. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare my eggs. Just my 3 eggs, we're going to break and just mix like if you were going to do scrambled eggs, which is really what we're going to make. And beat them. And we're going to make them first. Here I have my frying pan, the butter that I showed you earlier. We're going to turn the heat on. And we're going to make scrambled eggs. Our butter needs to melt, so you need a fairly high heat source. And also remember what I said earlier, we're not going to make them too dry because they will be cooked again a little bit at the end when we mix them with the rest of our fake rice. Nice and bubbly. In we go. And we keep on stirring. And you'll notice that I'm not going to season the eggs because as we add the soy sauce at the end, it's going to give it the salty flavor. So we can always rectify with a little bit of salt when we taste, when everything is mixed together. So you want it cooked through. Of course, you don't want it to be too runny, but you don't want it dry either, because when I add it at the end, it's going to cook a little bit more. That's where you have a non-stick pan. Is very handy, especially for eggs. There, you see, that's all we want. So we're going to move it aside, and we're going to start with the second part of it all. I'm warming up my pan, and I'm going to add the sesame oil. And what you want to do, you want to have enough of it to cover the bottom. And that's all, because I don't have any more. And when it's warm, I'm going to add the scallions and the garlic first. So we want it to take a little bit of color, and we're going to wait until we can hear the oil sizzling. Then I will add my cauliflower, and when the cauliflower is half through, I will add the peas and carrots, because remember, we defrost them first, so we want them to be warm. They're not going to be mushy. Can you hear? I like that sound very much. I'm going to put my cauliflower. Mix everything nicely, and my soy sauce. Stir so the color is even. We're going to put the carrots and peas. Give it a good stir. Everything is nicely mixed. And now I'm going to cover that and let it cook for 3-4 minutes so the cauliflower gets a little tender. Let's check it out. There. Nice. So now I'm going to let it cook open for an extra minute. I like it. You want the whatever water which was in the veggies to evaporate. In the meantime, I'm going to work with my eggs, breaking them a little bit. So with this fork, I'm breaking my eggs, and I'm going to incorporate them and break them. So you see why I didn't want them to be overcooked, because they're cooking more now. And that's it. We're ready to serve our beautiful cauliflower fried rice. There you have it, the fake fried rice with cauliflower. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.